I'm a dire Chiefs and Cyclones fan, and let's talk about Matt Campbell's legacy, what he did at Iowa State, what he's done since he's gone to Penn State, and how it affects Iowa State fans for the foreseeable future.
Come on! Oh, he got it! Yeah! Missed it! Missed it!
My name's AJ Caldwell, and welcome back to Cyclone Kingdom. Let's talk about the one, the only Matt Campbell. Now, his legacy at Iowa State is the best of all time. He's the best football coach of all time, might be the best coach in Iowa State athletic history. But what is his legacy now that he's gone? He obviously went to Penn State, he transitioned out of there, he took a bunch of players, and he's made some weird comments. So how do we think through it as Iowa State fans? How should you think through it? Because this is what my thoughts are as a Cyclone fan who's been a part of this kind of fandom of Matt Campbell. Here is the kicker for me. I love Matt Campbell. I love what he did for Iowa State. The things that he accomplished in the decade that he was here at Iowa State is something that's never going to be replicated. I know we're excited about Jimmy Rodgers. I know we're excited right now about TJ Otzelberger and what he's doing. TJ is the closest thing to it in terms of what can be done from an athletic standpoint at Iowa State. Matt Campbell took Iowa State athletics and Iowa State football to heights it had never seen. 2 Big 12 championship appearances, multiple double-digit win seasons, a New Year's Six bowl win in the COVID year, and even though COVID had a bunch of different things going on with it, the New Year's Six bowl win, the Fiesta Bowl against Oregon, is one of the best wins in Iowa State program history. What he did to bring Brock Purdy in, to bring Breece Hall in, to bring Xavier Hutchinson in, Charlie Kohler, I mean, the list goes on, Will McDonald, the list goes on of NFL talent guys that Matt Campbell recruited and brought. Brock Purdy, keep in mind, people forget about this. He could have gone to Alabama. He could have gone to Texas A&M. And he decided to go to Iowa State University and star in an institution that used to be a laughingstock. Matt Campbell took Iowa State from being a laughingstock in the Big 12 to one of the premier programs in the Big 12, where since 2017, they're top 5 in the Big 12 in terms of conference wins. Outside of Oklahoma and Texas, now that they've left, they're actually top 3 in conference wins. That is what Matt Campbell did for Iowa State. And I will never forget all of the core memories that he created for Cyclone fans everywhere. The video that we have in our intro of every one of these videos of me jumping in my pool because we beat Texas in 2020 on the road to secure our first ever Big 12 championship berth in the last 100 years. That was Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell brought that about. The 2017 season, where he completely changed the perspective of Cyclone football. He completely changed the perspective of what everyone thought about Iowa State from a football perspective. They were no longer a laughingstock. They were no longer this below little brother. They were a team that was winning games and beating ranked opponents. Now, his record against Iowa is what it is. But in the last 3 years, especially with the vacated wins now, Matt Campbell ended 3-0 against Iowa. That is a huge, huge marker for a state that doesn't have professional sports, where based on how you perform in that game, you get to hold bragging rights in the state for the rest of the year. It's been a Cyclone state since 2022. Like, Iowa State has only lost once in basketball or football since 2022. Keep that in mind. That is a crazy stat. Matt Campbell was a part of that. After being told he couldn't beat Iowa and couldn't do this and couldn't do that, he's won 3 in a row in the last 4 years with the vacated win from Iowa, again in the Cyhawk game. So what do we think about Matt Campbell now? Because all that is great. And the 2017 season was awesome. It was one of my favorite years to watch. But Matt Campbell's gone now. And he's gone to Penn State. He's taken players with him. What do we think of him now? I'll be honest, when I first heard the news that he went to Penn State and then he left, I was bummed out a lot because he had said no to USC and the Detroit Lions and Michigan and who else knows what other jobs were available. He said no to all those things. So I was really bummed out that he finally chose Penn State. But at the same time, I understood why he did it. He's from Pennsylvania. He's got a mom with cancer right now, and he wanted his family to be closer to his parents. That's fine. Penn State's a more well-known football program than Iowa State. That's fine. I get all of that. But that's not why I'm upset with Matt Campbell more recently. The reason why I'm upset with Matt Campbell is because of the way he's treated Iowa State. Matt Campbell was great for Iowa State. He was great for the program. He was great for the school to transform Iowa State athletics into what it is now. But Matt Campbell didn't act that way. He was part of the transformation, but he didn't treat it like Cyclone fans treated it. We forget that because in the midst of it, we're just thankful that he's the coach around. But what people don't realize is that Matt Campbell never cared about a school, never cared about a brand, never cared about the tradition of that school, only cared about his coaching agenda. Just the reality. It's how he's wired. From the moment he came to Iowa State, I remember watching his introductory video on social media with my dad, and my dad making a comment to me in 2016, this guy doesn't seem very emotional. He doesn't seem like he actually has any emotion in his words. He just seems kind of monotone. Now, he's given great press conferences and great different motivational speeches that we've seen over the years. That's fine. But what Matt Campbell did for Iowa State and his thoughts about Iowa State isn't what Cyclone fans think about Iowa State. Matt Campbell cared about Brock Purdy, Breece Hall, Charlie Kolar, Xavier Hutchinson, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. He cared about his players. And that's great. A coach should care about his players. In college football, a good coach, in college sports really, not even college football, a good coach should also care about their school's history. Now, when Matt Campbell first got there and they started having success, he made some comments about Iowa State and said, they used to be a laughingstock, they used to be this. And over time, that just kind of faded away. I don't think we realize this other than the fact that we get more of an exposure of it now because he's gone. But Matt Campbell cared more about his players than he did about the fans. You don't need any more evidence than how he's talking about Iowa State now. He's not making comments about the fan base. He's not talking about, I really miss the fans. He's talking about how Penn State has the best fans in the country, about how Iowa State doesn't, or Ames, Iowa doesn't have any good food restaurants, which is like, why are you saying that, first of all? Like, why make a comment about the restaurants when you can just say Penn State and Happy Valley have great restaurants here? And we're glad that my wife has a Trader Joe's now. Why just say that? Why do you have to bash on Ames, Iowa in the process? It goes far beyond the food comments. He's made no mention of the Iowa State fans. He's made no mention of Cyclone football. Have you guys realized that? He's made no mention of Cyclone football. He's only talked about his players. What was the transition like, Matt? Well, I wanted my players to be in a good spot. That's great. What about us? What about the fan base that used to be the laughingstock, that is now respected, that is now a potential Big 12 threat every single year because the Big 12 is up for grabs every single year? What about us? He hung us out to dry. And we'll do a separate video on Rocco Becht and how Rocco Becht's legacy is now that he's left Iowa State, because that's even more severe than I think Matt Campbell's. But the fact that Matt Campbell has made no reference, all he did was take a page out of the newspaper to write a thank you note to Cyclone football. That's it? To the fans? You just write it, send it, and you're done? You're never going to talk about the Iowa State fans ever again? If you're being asked about your time at Iowa State and what the transition was like, maybe make mention of how special Iowa State football is. Not just how special your players are. Not just how special your culture is. Matt Campbell's culture is whatever he wants to create. It had nothing to do with Iowa State. You look no further than what Josh Pate thinks of Iowa State now. All Josh Pate cared about was Matt Campbell. Just like how Matt Campbell, all he cared about was his players. Now, that might sound harsh. That might sound a little bit hyperbolic. But look no further than his answers in the comments. The comments to the questions he's being asked. It doesn't revolve anywhere around Ames, Iowa, or Jack Trice Stadium, or Cyclone football. Brock Purdy, when talking to Rocco Becht, told Rocco that you need to stick with Matt Campbell. Which, I'm a little upset with Brock Purdy about that, but we'll say that for a different time. That's for the Rocco Becht video. Matt Campbell's legacy at Iowa State here's what I would say. You can respect and be thankful for everything he's done about Iowa State. You can be thankful that he's the best coach Iowa State's ever had. But you don't have to respect what he's doing now. You don't have to be thankful for the way he's talking about Iowa State now. Could he potentially have a Fred Hoiberg type of renaissance, and in 5 to 10 years we think more well of him? Maybe. But right now, Matt Campbell's legacy is thanks for what you did at Iowa State, but we don't wish you well at Penn State. Because you're not respecting the fan base that you don't make mention of in any comments, in any videos, in any questions. That's his legacy. So thank you, Matt Campbell, for the decade at Iowa State. Thank you for putting Iowa State football on the map and making it a Big 12 powerhouse if Jimmy Rogers can flip the switch. Because the Big 12 is up for grabs every year for a college football playoff spot, and Iowa State is now firmly in that conversation because of Matt Campbell. Outside of that, I'm not cheering for Penn State. I'm not wishing Matt Campbell success because he's not respecting what Iowa State did for him. It goes far beyond what just he did for Iowa State. What did Iowa State do for Matt Campbell? We have some of the best fans in the country. I'm not just saying that. People have seen that. Jack Trice Stadium is always packed. It's always packed. Even in the 3-9 seasons, in the 4-8 seasons. Iowa State did a lot for Matt Campbell too, but he's not showing the respect for that. So we in turn aren't going to cheer for Penn State because of that? Why would we? Why would we when you won't even make mention of us as fans, as some of the best fans in the country, and how you're going to miss that, you're going to miss Jack Trice, you're going to miss Cyclone football? No, you just miss your players. And you're choked up because 20 players and their families are coming to Penn State to visit. That's great. We're not upset the players left. We knew they were going to leave for you because you care about your agenda and your players more than you care about Iowa State. That's my thoughts. Leave some of your thoughts in the comments below about what you think Matt Campbell's legacy is right now in 2026 for Iowa State. And we're obviously thankful for the Jimmy Rogers era. As always, roll clones. And how about those Chiefs?
Come on!